right, cool. Let's start. Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday or Tuesday, depending on where you are in the world. Hope you guys are all having a great day so far. We have Eric from Livepeer here to do an amazing workshop on video NFTs Beyond Collectables. And with that being said, I'll pass the mic off to Eric for his presentation.
Thank you, Anna. Hello, everybody. I am Eric. I'm the co-founder and CTO at Livepeer. Really excited to be doing this workshop with you all. Today I want to talk about video NFTs beyond collectibles. Just to kind of set the ground, the context a little bit, right? I think today we all very much know NFTs as this form of collectibles. So people, you can buy NFTs, you can trade them. Different NFTs have different values and collectible values. And I think that's a really great way for the mainstream to be exposed to the NFT movement and also to blockchains in general, right? And that has had huge value for our whole ecosystem and this whole blockchain industry, in that it just introduced so many more people to blockchain concepts. But being a technologist, I'm also really excited to start thinking about what's available beyond collectibles, especially for something like video, where this media format is so rich, has potential to be interactive, has the potential to do really, really engaging and deep storytelling and be used as tools for all kinds of interesting purposes. So I want to start sharing some of these ideas and start sharing how you can potentially use Livepeer to bring some of these ideas into reality. Okay, so to dive into my presentation a little bit, so to introduce Livepeer, right? Livepeer is the video streaming layer for Web3, and the reason we built Livepeer is because we have kind of the video storage layer for Web3, like Filecoin, right? We have the smart contract layer for Web3, like Ethereum, but in order for the Web3 ecosystem to really become mainstream, there needs to be a video streaming layer, and that's because video is about 80% of all the traffic on the internet today, right? And missing that important layer is really going to kind of stall the adoption for the blockchain and Web3 ecosystem as a whole. If you have built any kind of video streaming applications in depth, you realize that having infrastructure for streaming video is really, really crucial in order for video streaming experiences to work well, right? So for example, YouTube, which is owned by Google, is by far the largest infrastructure consumer inside the Google ecosystem. And that's precisely because there is this large need for infrastructure to serve video applications well. And this is what Livepeer is building, right? Livepeer is building the video streaming layer for Web3. So what does that really mean? It means we're looking at the live streaming use case here. It means that a broadcaster can send a video into the Livepeer network, and the network will do all the infrastructural work so that it can be these videos can be streamed to the end users' devices, whether it's a computer in the browser, or it's a mobile phone, or it's a smart TV, wherever they are, right? And this network essentially replaces the centralized infrastructure that's needed today in order to build a video application. So a little bit about Livepeer. You can go to the Explorer to check it out. Livepeer is formed of many nodes. We call these nodes orchestrators. They bring capacity onto the network, and at the top here you see the number of minutes per week that's being streamed on the Livepeer network. Here we see about 2.2 million minutes of video being streamed into the Livepeer network per week right now. Let's jump and talk a little bit about the video NFTs use case today as collectible, right? So what does that mean? It means video NFTs are created using the ERC 721 standards. And how it works is that there is a token URL that you can specify in your smart contract that points to an external location that specifies the metadata for this video NFT, right? So for example, if we go here, which is a Nifty gateway NFT, you will see that this is the video, and the NFT itself. You can see that it is an MP4 file that is being streamed over here, and the MP4 file kind of lives here, right? And that is part of the specification in the ERC 721 standard. So that's basically how it works, right? You create an ERC 721 token, you specify this token URL to point to an MP4 file that can live on IPFS, for example, and then any application that wants to show that NFT will just go there and load the video, and then people can trade that video around, and it's public by default. So what about video use cases that are beyond collectibles? Well, so let's first take a look at video in Web3 and how that's transforming, right? What we see here is there's a big trend that's happening, which is the creator economy is migrating to Web3, right? So the creator economy is this ecosystem that any creator can create video and post them on these existing video platforms and make revenue from that, right? So, if you are a YouTube creator, you post videos on YouTube, Twitch streamers, Instagram, right? All of these different large social applications are being built this way. What we see today is that a lot of these creators are kind of getting fed up by these big platforms taking the lion's share of the profit, and that they're starting to move to Web3 ecosystems in order to get better opportunities, right? So we're seeing these new platforms popping up, like the native NFT trading platforms like OpenSea or Zora, but we also see interesting consumer applications like Glass.xyz or Audius, right? And all of these applications are built on top of Web3 infrastructure, right? Filecoin, Arweave, The Graph, Livepeer are all some examples of that. And in this Web3 world, creators own the content, they own the audience. They're simple and transparent payment methods, and they're built on Web3 infrastructure. In the long term, they're going to be a lot more scalable than Web2 applications, simply because they're not built on centralized infrastructures, and anybody from the world can participate in this economic gain. So this is kind of the overall ecosystem. Let's go in and think about how does NFT fit in this way, right? Like what do NFTs actually represent? Well, here are some examples. One, NFT can represent tickets, right? So instead of a collectible item, you can mint an NFT that represents a ticket for an event. So here we have actually the ticket for the NFT.NYC event, which just happened a couple of weeks ago. So you can buy an NFT and use that to gain access to a physical event or to a virtual event. Another thing, NFTs can represent memberships. What we see here is one of the most popular NFT communities out there, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? So if you own a Bored Ape, not only do you gain access into the different events that the Bored Ape community is hosting, the important thing is that if you own a Bored Ape, you belong to this community. You are a member of the Bored Ape community, and all kinds of experiences can be built around the Bored Ape community in order to serve these the Bored Ape community members. And finally, NFTs can represent royalties, right? So here is a rareable interface when we're minting an NFT. And here I can specify royalty of 30% when I mint the NFT, which means anytime the NFT is traded and the ownership transacts, 30% of that transaction value is going to go towards the original creator of the NFT, right? And that's a really, really powerful concept because today in the entertainment industry, in the creators world, it's really, it's close to impossible to track all of the royalties that happen in all the transactions. Here, the smart contract just encodes that, and it becomes reinforced forever. Now, with some of these concepts, let's think about, what can we build with video NFTs? One simple example, right? You can build token-gated live streaming applications. So what does that mean? It means you can either use ERC20 tokens or ERC721 NFTs or ERC721 tokens or 1151, whatever standard you want to use to represent access to a specific live stream. And this is basically saying that if you own a token or if you own above a certain amount of a token, then you can watch the live stream. Otherwise, you cannot watch the live stream. Why is this interesting and why is this powerful? Well, imagine you can start to you can start to create live streams that are specific for an audience that the audience need access to, right? You can, for example, as the organizer of a DAO, you can create a live stream that's only specifically to the DAO and only DAO members can access that live stream. Or as a member of Bored Apes, you can watch a special concert that's put on by an artist that only if you own the Bored Ape can you watch that, right? This becomes a really interesting enabler to create value on top of these NFT ownership. Another interesting thing we're seeing is the metaverse is emerging, right? Not only the meta at Facebook, but also decentralized metaverses. We're seeing Decentraland, we're seeing Sandbox, we're seeing Crypto Voxels, we're seeing lots of new metaverses emerging in this decentralized world. And video streaming becomes a really interesting tool for us to tie the virtual world with the physical world. Right, we're starting to see concerts happening inside these virtual environments where people are streaming those concerts from the virtual environments out into the physical environments onto the big screens, and vice versa. People are streaming DJ sets from the real world into the big screens in the metaverse. Right, so just tying together the two worlds start to create really, really interesting experiences. And of course, video streaming in and out of the metaverse, you need infrastructure to do that. And Livepeer is here as a tool for you to do that. And finally, here's something that we haven't talked about as much. Another hack idea, which is really around machine learning capabilities. Something that we don't talk a lot about at Livepeer, but is a really interesting capability is that Livepeer actually not only enables video streaming and transcoding, it also enables machine learning tasks that gets done on top of the video. So for example, when you're streaming video through the Livepeer network, the network can actually also do things like content detection to help you figure out what kind of video is being streamed. Imagine if you're building a live streaming platform that's decentralized, you want to make sure that certain questionable content are not streamed on your platform if you want to, right? And so having these types of mechanisms can really help the application developers to figure things out, figure that stuff out. And so content recognition is just one type of machine learning capability that you can do on Livepeer. And since Livepeer is an open source platform, there's actually lots of different possibilities in terms of what the type of machine learning tasks that can be done. And we're looking to work with developers to add things like object detection, add things like face swapping, add things like creating synthetic objects inside the video, making video super interactive. So all of that is a super interesting area that I'd love to see hackers working on. I want to briefly introduce the prizes for Livepeer. This time at Web3 Jam, there's a total prize pool of $8,000 split across 3 different places. The first place is 4,000, second place is 2,000, and the third place is 1,000. And there's a prize pool that everybody can share for anyone who has implemented a Livepeer integration that's a complete end-to-end integration and in a working demo. There are lots of tools and resources for hackers. So we have an example token-gated live streaming application that I'm going to walk you through in a little bit. There is an in-browser broadcasting SDK that one of our engineers built so that you can have a user open up a browser, use their webcam to do a broadcasting session without needing to download like a piece of special software for broadcasting the content. There is a web-based example built in Next.js that just illustrates how to interact with the hosted Livepeer gateway, how to build kind of a video streaming experience from that. And there's a mobile demo application built using React Native that can be compiled into iOS and Android. That kind of shows off the same similar capability where you can broadcast from a phone and you can also watch a broadcast from a phone. So I definitely recommend you to check them out. They're all in the Livepeer GitHub. And of course, there is the Getting Started guide at livepeer.com, which is the hosted Livepeer gateway into the Livepeer network. You should definitely go check it out. Any Web3 Jam hackers can get some free credits on the gateway. So you just sign up for a free account, let us know, and you can start using that gateway for free and build your hacks. And finally, we'll have lots of support for you. It will be hanging out in the ETH Online Discord Livepeer channel, and our engineers will be there. I will be there. We'll be there to help you answer any technical questions about Livepeer, but also to talk to you about your hack. And if you have any if you have any feedback, anything like that, we're happy to have those chats. All right, so we have about 10 minutes left. How are we doing on like questions? Is there any questions?
We do have a question in the chat, Eric.
Okay.
So the question is, if I have a video hosted on IPFS, is there a way to pass that CID through Livepeer to output for the transcoding, through Livepeer to output for the transcoding capabilities? Our video is not live streamed, thus not an RTMP input, correct? You might have already mentioned it, but another pass would be much appreciated.
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's really about kind of, if you have a video file already and you want to transcode that video file, can you do that with Livepeer? Absolutely, you can, and we're making that easier and we're building tools to do that. Currently, what you can do is you can actually just stream that video into Livepeer and turn on the recording feature, and the transcoding will be recorded, and you will get kind of a transcoded version out, and then you can stream that. Cool. So let me give a quick demo for the token gated live streaming example. Here was the last thing. Here's what this looks like, right? It's a very simple application, and what this is saying is, we're looking at an NFT that actually I purchased a couple days ago, and we're saying that if you have the NFT, then you can access a live stream that I'm doing, and if you don't have an NFT, then you cannot access it. Right? So we can even take a look at what this NFT looks like on OpenSea. It happens to be an NFT of this really interesting new live streaming kind of TV show that's coming out. I think it's called Mad World. I'm really excited about this. Mad Realities, yeah. Really excited about this. anyways, so going back here, and I have this wallet that I used to purchase that NFT. I'm gonna switch to a different wallet where the wallet does not hold this asset, right? So when I click on login, MetaMask is gonna ask me to sign a transaction, and I try to sign it, and it says, "Hey, you don't have the NFT," right? I said, "Okay." Now I'm going to switch to the wallet that I actually have the NFT, and I'm going to log in. MetaMask is going to ask me to sign another message, and now I see this is the live stream that I've been doing, and we have access to this live stream, right? And it's pretty, it's a pretty simple example, but it illustrates this token gating type of concept, right? So let's take a quick look at how this is built, right? It's actually really quite simple. So we have a very simple JavaScript application with a backend and a front end, right? So let's go into the backend. We'll see that there are a couple of endpoints. This info endpoint is not that important. This check endpoint is the thing that basically checks the incoming signature that I signed with MetaMask. So the front end is going to send that signature into the backend with the post request. And here we're just doing checking the signature to make sure that the ownership the signature is valid. And in here we're also checking whether the address actually owns the NFT, right? So here we're checking, does the address own this NFT in this specific contract? And if it does, then we return true. If it doesn't, we return false, right? And in the front end, we can simply decide to show or hide the player, depending on the ownership of the ownership of the NFT. And the other thing that's interesting is that we can this is actually a proxy for the video itself, because one of the things that some people have pointed out in the past is that hey, if you after getting the access to the stream, you can just open up the developer console and copy the URL of the video and then share it with somebody else, and they'd be able to watch it, right? But here we're actually running the video through a proxy, but only running the playlist through the proxy. And the playlist is a very small file, so it doesn't take that much bandwidth to be able to proxy it and deliver it around. And here we can, for every request, we can actually validate, okay, is this video request coming from a browser that's coming from the browser session for a specific public key, right? And here we can basically prevent that type of stealing of the content and say, only if the signature is valid will we return the video. So yeah, that's my demo, and that's my workshop. I'm going to go back to my presentation. I want to check again. Does anybody have any questions for the last 5 minutes? All right. If not, I look forward to seeing everybody at the hackathon. Good luck, and I'll be in Discord talking to y'all about your hacks.
All right. Thank you so much, Eric, for your wonderful workshop. I'm sure everyone learned a lot, and it was super interesting. As Eric said, he can be reached on Discord in the Livepeer sponsor channel. And otherwise, this workshop will also be posted onto the YouTube, on the ETHGlobal YouTube, so feel free to reference that. And with that being said, once again, thank you so much, Eric, for taking your time to present this workshop, and thank you to the rest of you for joining us today. And have a good rest of your day.
Is it too late to ask Eric a question?
Please ask away.
Oh my God, dude, that's dope. Hey, I love your presentation, my dude. So I feel like you had this NFT presentation. How are you making NFTs cheap, right? Like, how can I interact with your protocol without burning tons of money? Like, are you guys on Polygon or these other chains right now?
Great question. NFTs. So the streaming experience on Livepeer is actually blockchain agnostic, right? And what that means is you can build this NFT gating experience using any layer ones, using any blockchain, and still be able to kind of utilize the hosted gateway. So you actually don't need to do any minting from Livepeer's perspective. All you have to do is to figure out how to mint your NFTs, however you mint it, right? Polygon or Near or wherever it is. And then you can kind of build that authentication process with the specific chain that you're using. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that totally does. Quick heads up, I just want to let the ETH Online person, just heads up, just cut me off whenever. Yeah, I'm wondering, so I launched a protocol called Share Stake. And what we do is let people deposit their ETH for, ETH validatorship, right? So for you as well, you allow people to deposit tokens to have a protocol that lets people handle media in essence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, is there a way you can scale up from that, right? Because right now, as somebody that has a protocol that handles media, you handle all the profits. How do you scale up from that? How do you let other people handle the media, handle the infrastructure for hosting that media?
Great question. So even though, I'm guessing the question is about kind of like how value flows in the Livepeer network.
Yeah. How do you
right?
scale up from there, right? Like, because you have a great protocol, but how do you expand out from there? Because at the end of the day, you can make a lot of money doing what you're doing, but I think you can make more money like letting other people be infrastructure providers, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So Livepeer is a decentralized protocol and is a decentralized network, right? And in fact, if you go to the Livepeer Explorer, you will see that there's already 100 participants nodes that are running Livepeer nodes, and if you go there, you can actually see the amount of monies that they're making. So if we just go to Livepeer, explorer.livepeer.org right now, you will see that last week the transcoders made over $10,000 on the network, right? And this is one of the highest networks in terms of kind of Web3 infrastructure revenue that's being paid. So it's already decentralized and is already sharing the profit out to the participants who are providing infrastructure. And the other thing that I would say is that through a staking protocol, that staking is a way to share profits and share ownership of the network to all the participants, right? So inflation happens every day in the Livepeer network, and all of that inflation is shared proportionally to participants in the Livepeer network based on their stake, right? And these are kind of node operators. And the node operators are sharing those rewards to the people who stake towards them, right? So this is how we make sure that the rewards of the Livepeer network is shared amongst all the participants, all that who participate in the Livepeer network from day one.
So you're open to other protocols like DeFi protocols kind of like jumping in and participating in Livepeer, right?
Yeah, that's really interesting. In fact, there's a really cool project called Tenderize that's kind of that's kind of like liquid staking for Livepeer, right? So what they do is they have a protocol that allows you to stake your Livepeer token through Tenderize, and what Tenderize would issue a Tenderize a TLPT token to you while helping you stake on the Livepeer network. And with that TLPT, you can kind of participate in DeFi protocols. It's very similar to kind of what Lido does for kind of ETH2 staking.
Would you mind just dropping that in the chat? I would love to like help out, build a contract for that.
Yeah. Here is Tenderize, and it's yeah, there's a really cool team working on that project.
Cool. Yeah, so it looks like that's all the time that we have for the workshop today. Great questions. And thank you, Eric, for being so awesome with the questions in the workshop and everything. So yeah, all right, have a great day, everyone, and enjoy the rest of Web3 Jam.